Hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're doing well. I mentioned in a recent video that I've started a bear drawing course over at Creature Art Teacher, and I have started studying especially bear heads at the moment, mainly the grizzly bear and the black bear for now, and I decided to record some of that for you today. So I started out with some underdrawings in Tombow marker, which I didn't record. If you're interested in seeing the full process when I do, say, the black bears or when I do full body poses, then I can definitely do the underdrawing and the finished overdrawing as well in one video. If you're interested in that, then let me know in the comments. But I started out with the simple shapes and structure in the Tombow marker, and it is pale cherry, the colour, which I picked up recently, and I used just the fine line end for this time. Sometimes I use the brush end if I want to have really big marks, but this time I just used the fine liner end. And the idea was to get down the major masses, so a sphere for the head, and then for the muzzle area it's kind of like a chopped off cone, like halfway between a cone and a cylinder, that molds onto the face of the sphere, and that's an idea from the course. And then also just blocking in some of the major masses when it comes to the fur as well, and then getting the general placement of things like the brow area, the eyes, the ears, and things like that. And then once I got those all blocked in, I'd then go in with the more finished lines on top to solidify things like the eye placement, the smaller masses like the nose, the lips, and then also some of the fur, say for example around the ears, and things like that. So at the moment I'm mainly trying to get a base understanding of the forms in different rotations of the head, which is why I have a bunch of different head positions in the spread. And then I'm going to go in with the same idea but for other kinds of bears as well when studying the head, so that I can gain an understanding of the differences in the anatomy between different bears when it comes to their faces. And yeah, that's the base idea of it. I think I've done some drawings in the past. I can't remember right now if I did any on a video where I did this technique before, where I did like underdrawings in pen and then did pencil on top, but it is a really fun sketching, studying method for me, because when I'm doing the underdrawing, I can't erase. And I've spoken about this many times before, but there is a benefit to not being able to erase, but also there's a benefit to it being a lighter color that you can then go on top of with a darker color, say for example, the 2B pencil that I'm using right now. And that just means that when you're going in with the initial lines and placement, you don't have any time to just fiddle around. The lines you put down are the lines you put down, and then that enables you to sketch with confidence, study with confidence. You also study quickly as well. At least it's not super fast, you're still thinking about the lines you put down. The time you spend drawing in pen, a lot of it is the thinking before placing, but the placing in and of itself is very fast. And then that just means that you're able to consider what you need to be drawing in a slightly different way to drawing in just pencil. And then another benefit of it with this method is that I'm able to see the underdrawing underneath the pencil sketch when it's finished, which means that I'm able to see the underlying structure and what I used as simple shapes, the placement of the simple shapes, if I changed the placement of the eyes. So there's at least one bear in the spread where I do actually change the placement of the eyes. And that just means that I can go back and look at the spread and I can see the areas that I was struggling with in the underdrawing, how I changed those in the final drawing. And I have a little record of that so that I can then go back and think, right, okay, I really need to look at the placement of the eyes, or I really need to look at the nose at certain perspectives and things like that. And that just enables me to be a little bit more conscious in my studying sessions about where I need to improve. And then I can go off and do things tailored to the things I need to improve at. Out of the drawings that I did here, I'd probably say that the bottom left front-facing head is one of my favorites. I just like the pose and the expression that I captured with that. And I'd probably say that the hardest is the one that I'm currently sketching on screen right now, the 3/4 front perspective. I found that one the most difficult, and you'll have seen that I had to adjust a few things multiple times before I kind of placed them to the best of my ability right now, but I know that that's one area that I really want to work on. Oh, and there's Peanut. There is your Peanut for the video. She only makes a brief appearance in this one, I'm afraid, but the back-facing 3/4 views that you're seeing now were a little bit easier. The hardest part was placing the lips in that perspective. So some of the things that I know that I want to go back and study from doing the spread are the eye placements, the lips in 3/4 perspective, both front and back, but especially back. And for the 3/4 front perspective, it's the placement of the muzzle in relation to the rest of the head mass, and also the eye placement with that as well. So those are a few things that I know that I'm going to go back and study now because of the spread and the way that I studied in the spread. And I can always go back and look in the future as I improve at bear drawing. I can go back and look at this and see the underdrawing and my thought process at this point in time compared to what it'll be like 6 months, 12 months, however many months from now. And I do occasionally like to do that and go back and look at my art from previous years. So here's the finished spread up close. And yeah, I'd definitely say that that one's my favorite out of the spread. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!